Here we are then at a frustrated Carrow Road where it's finished Norwich City 0, Cardiff 0. This had been a must-win game, billed as such before kick-off, what with Norwich's recent defeats and residing in the bottom three of the Premier League table. Sadly, they just did not have the cutting edge to score a goal, and that is not the first time we've said as much. They were very good in the first half, created a lot of opportunities, but I'm going to refrain from saying chances. Got one goal scramble in particular where David Marshall got lucky with the ball rebounding off the post and him reacting well to the rebound, but he didn't have a lot of really spectacular saves to make. In fact, John Reddy's save from Jordan Much in the first half was probably the pick of the bunch. Second half, at half-time, Malky Mackay making some good changes, shored up Cardiff, and they looked a lot more solid in the second half. That meant it was all the more difficult for Norwich City to break them down. And while there were lulls, there was late flurries from the Canaries as Chris Hughton made change after change, Nathan Redmond, Johan Elmander, and eventually Ricky van Wolfswinkel joining the fray, but suffering similar fates to those that had gone before them. Again, Leroy Fair's header was probably the best moment, the best chance for Norwich, but David Marshall making a reasonable save. There was very final minute controversy in the fourth minute of added time. In fact, Alex Tete injured in the middle of the park. Cardiff put the ball out. Ricky van Wolfswinkel took the throw to Leroy Fair, who then hit the ball in the goal as he was giving the ball back to Cardiff, theoretically, although we now know from Leroy himself he did it deliberately because he wants to score. It's 0-0, and apparently in Holland there's not the same tradition of giving the ball back. All manner of things kicked off. There was almost a brawl. Leroy Fair said he'd been given the go-ahead to play on, but the referee then called it back, saying he hadn't blown his whistle, probably in a sudden idea that he would want to remove any possible controversy from the end of the game. I don't think Norwich City would have wanted to win in that way. It's a shame that it looked like it needed them to do so to come away with 3 points. And this is probably the big issue. There was a lot of criticism flying around after Arsenal last week when Norwich played very well and were perhaps a little bit unfortunate, but they were playing against a very good side. Today they did play well, but they really should be hitting the back of the net against the newly promoted side. Norwich need points. They now have 2 trips to Manchester coming up, Manchester United in the League Cup in midweek, and then Manchester City in the Premier League next weekend. It doesn't get any easier. The next 2 home games here, West Ham and Crystal Palace. Norwich cannot afford another repeat of this. Let's get the thoughts, shall we, from the bosses. First of all, Chris Hughton, and then Cardiff manager Malky Mackay.
It's one of them frustrating days. I think you've of course got to give Cardiff credit. They threw bodies in front of the ball when they needed to. Got bodies back behind the ball. Their goalkeeper had a very good day for them, but we arguably couldn't have had particularly in that first half period, we couldn't have had any more chances than what we did. You know, got the ball into really good areas, really threatened. I thought we played the game at a real good tempo. Perhaps in that second half you get a little bit of a drop. I think it's normal, but I thought it was a game that we dominated and were able to turn that into goal scoring, goal chances, opportunities, and that's what makes it more frustrating. Yeah.
I looked at it and thought from afar, maybe he's not meant it, but I believe from an interview there that he absolutely meant it. Pretty ungentlemanly conduct from the lad. Immediately, Colin and Chris came up and said if Mick Jones gives it, then we'll let you walk it straight into our net. So there was complete calmness from both benches as far as that was concerned. The boys obviously were a little bit heated because of what I've just said, but I think common sense prevailed, because I think in this day and age, what you saw today was something that's not good for the game.